Hey guys, it's Daphne. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a really chill and kind of exciting video for you guys. I'm going to be teaching you how to make more money on Depop. Let's just get into it. So for those of you who don't know, Depop is an online fashion marketplace where you can sell clothes and also buy clothes as well as trade and amongst other things. Essentially, it's like Poshmark, but for cool kids. It tends to be popular with the Gen Z and millennial market, and Depop is famed for selling vintage clothes, designer brands, name brands, and also aesthetic themed clothing like skater grunge, cyber Y2K, pastel goth, things like that. Like if you want to find clothes in that aesthetic, Depop is definitely the place to go. So I started on Depop last summer. Just kind of wanted to make some more money, sell my clothes, get rid of them because I had a lot of clothes in my closet that I wasn't wearing. So I put them all up on Depop and just started selling. In between the periods of August and April, that's August of last year, April of this year, I stopped doing Depop because I went to college and I wasn't really sure how I was going to be able to maintain my shop while there. And it was also my freshman year and I really wanted to like focus on that and not necessarily like selling. This summer I started it up again and I've been doing really well for myself, and it's kind of a surprise because I had been gone away for so long and I wasn't sure how my shop would do, but it's pulling through. It's better than it ever has before, and so I'm really excited to continue the journey even throughout the school year coming up and to share some of it with you guys. So my number one tip, we're gonna start with things that you can do aesthetically with your shop to bring in more followers, therefore bring in more customers and money. Depop's feeds have 3 pictures in a row, similar to Instagram, so you want to have a really aesthetically pleasing feed. That doesn't mean you have to like take your pictures in a flower garden, but you want to take your pictures in a place that is recognizable to your followers. For me, it's right there, that blue wall with the door in the center and the tree in the corner. I'm gonna input a picture of that so you guys can see what it looks like. But essentially it is so helpful in making sure that my feed is consistent, or was consistent. I have a new feed style now, which I kind of don't like. I'm about to change it, but I'll also explain that aesthetic as well. Another thing I see really popular sellers doing is separating their clothes by like aesthetics. So that's what I have right now, and there's like a shop fairy clothing, then a shop Y2K, shop grunge, shop basics, business casual, books. The list goes on, and it's organized that way. You can also color code your clothes, and that can be a way for buyers to look at your shop and be impressed with how it's organized. But it just in general, pick something and go with it and stick with it. Number 2, I would say having an aesthetic name. I mean, you look at all these big sellers and they always have some kind of name that is you know, like aesthetically pleasing. Like it just sounds cool. Like it sounds like it could be a real brand. I'll input some right now so you can see. You should come up with a name like that. Mine is at your Y2K fairy, because a lot of my stuff is either Y2K or like fairy core styles. So yeah, just come up with something that kind of like represents you and your clothes. So those are the first 2 things, and they're kind of more aesthetically like focused. Now we're going to get into the stuff that you can actually do with your shop to bring in more customers. The number 3 thing I'm going to tell you guys is to list literally continuously. If you're not listing at least like 1 to 5 new things a week, then you're not doing it right. And let me explain. Customers like to see an influx of stuff. If they like your style but don't see anything that's there right now, they'll still follow and expect you to put more stuff into the shop. The easiest way to get inventory, I would say, is thrifting, because you can get those clothes for cheaper than you would retail or from some like really expensive designer brand, and then you put those on for a higher price. Some people go crazy with their reselling and have it really high, or you can just do it like $10 more than what you got it for so that you're at least profiting from it. And when you do it like that, that's like the easiest way to keep adding inventory. So you just go to your local thrift shop, get those clothes, put them on your Depop, and do that about, I would say, once or twice a week. My number 4 tip would be to look at your pricing. pricing is really important. My pricing is really ratchet right now, so I know that's gonna sound bad, but let me explain, because I do put this into consideration. The first thing you should worry about with pricing is to compare your prices with other Depop sellers' prices, and do that based on like what the item is. So like if you're selling this white dress from Victoria's Secret, look at other white dresses from Victoria's Secret and see what's selling, see what price point is kind of like the sweet spot. You can either go a little bit higher or a little bit lower. If you price your clothes that way, then you're like on the same par or level as others. If you want to sell even more, I would probably go lower than what the average price is, because that makes your shop more desirable, obviously, because the customer doesn't have to pay as much money as they do with other Depop sellers. The second thing you should worry about with pricing is discounts. And sorry I'm saying worry about, you don't have to worry about them, just be aware of this. Your discounts, at all times on my shop, I have a discount running. You can do a lot of different kinds of discounts. Right now I have one that's follower based, so each time I hit 100 followers is a new kind of discount. Recently I just hit 600, and so I did a 15% discount on black items, like everything that was the color black. And then I also just hit 700 today, and so my new discount is 15% off purple items. So that's like a little plus that like lets followers have that sale, kind of like be excited to know when you're like going to have cheaper items up for them, and that's just a really great way to draw in people. I would also say you can do holiday related discounts. Like I'm going to do a back to school one next week, because a lot of high schoolers specifically, but also people in college, are going back to school next week or the week after that. So that's a really good time to have a really big discount, because people will want to buy stuff from your shop for school. Less niche examples would be Christmas sales, Valentine's Day sales, 4th of July sales, etc. Just like a real shop. One more thing, this isn't necessarily pricing related with like how you price your items, but as far as like money, but it's like kind of related. There's a toggle you can put on for free shipping on bundles. I would definitely do that, because that notification comes out when a buyer clicks on your shop, and if they know that if they get multiple stuff from your shop that the shipping's going to be free, like you're going to pay for the shipping, then that entices them to get the multiple objects. My biggest sale ever was a bundle. It was 7 items and the shipping was free for her, but she ended up paying $134. I love that girl for buying all of that stuff for me, but I don't think she would have if the shipping hadn't been free. Okay, so now let's move on to like the really specific tricks of the trade. This one not a lot of people know about, but I feel like I have to mention it because it's brought in so much traction to my shop, and I've gotten so many followers and likes and DMs just from doing this. So if you don't know what ISOs are, that stands for in search ofs, and they're very popular on Depop. Basically an in search of is just something that you're looking for, whether that be a specific item from a specific store, a certain aesthetic, or certain clothing items, like if you're looking for beige shorts that are low-waisted. And so basically a lot of people on Depop, users of Depop, will make a listing that's not actually, you're not supposed to actually buy it, but it says what you're in search of, and then other sellers can go to the ISO post, comment underneath with their username. They can DM you, say, hey, come check out my shop. They can like the post, and that brings that specific user to your shop. So that's a really great way to use ISOs. Also, I have some ISOs on my account, mostly because I'm actually looking for these items, but also because it brings a lot of people in. Sellers will comment under your post. It's a great way to promote yourself, but also to just gain a lot of people looking, because they also think that aesthetic is cute, and so now they're following, now they're messaging you. And I think that's like the best way I can think of to utilize the ISO feature. And I'm hopefully putting in screen recordings and pictures, so that's a lot easier for you to see, because I know you can't really see what I'm talking about because I'm speaking to you. But yeah, my second trick of the trade is to utilize keywords and terms. And let me explain this. So as I mentioned earlier, Depop is a place where aesthetics thrive. every seller tends to have their own little aesthetic, and people who want to dress like a certain aesthetic often shop on Depop. So it's important for you to learn the key terms, especially if you have things that, you know, fit into that aesthetic. I'm gonna rattle some off right now and put in descriptions of what those look like. So let's see: boho hippie, 90s fairy princess, cyber Y2K, glam Y2K, soft girl, let's see, what else is there, skater grunge, mall goth. And I know if you don't know what any of these things are, it's gonna sound like I'm literally just spewing nonsense, but people genuinely look up these keywords and key terms when they're looking for stuff. So if you have that like in your description for your listing, then your thing's gonna pop up and your post is gonna be boosted. So I would definitely recommend learning those key terms, putting them in your description. Yeah, and that would be my like second like trick, because a lot of people don't realize that they can do that and get so much more attention. I would also say, and this one is not even like an insider tip, but I feel like people forget to do this: advertise your shop on your socials. So have the link to your Depop shop in your bio, Instagram bio. Go to your settings, get your Depop URL, and then you can just put that in your bio. You can also share on your story, hey, check out my Depop. You can share it with the specific squares. You can just take a picture of some really cute stuff and then link it. You can also put it on your Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat anymore, but when I did, I would often put the link to my Depop on my main story and also my private stories, just to again remind people that like you have really cute stuff that you're selling, and you never know. I've had quite a few people that I personally know buy stuff from me, which has been great, but I don't think they would have known that I had that if I hadn't advertised that I had that, if you know what I mean. All right, well, I think that's it. Those are all my tips on how to improve your Depop, how to get more money, more followers, more attention. And if you're really struggling with that, then this is definitely the video for you to watch, and I promise you, if you do all these tips, you will get more money. I promise you. Also, this is by no means like a beginner's guide to Depop. I feel like I could make a completely different video on that, on how to get your account set up and how to, you know, start listing and all of that, and understanding the like layout of Depop. So I could definitely make a video on that if anyone is interested in hearing it from me as opposed to someone else on the internet. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.